Howdy all, Muglex Lives. I think it's time to play. Man, is the lighting weird? 7 Days to Die. I feel like the lighting is weird. So, last episode, I died. I died. Twice, I think. It was bad. I was having a rough day. So let's see if we can maybe rectify that a little bit. Have a better day today. So we did play some D&D this week. It's yeah, I was tired, and so when you're tired and annoying things get even more annoying. I was pretty annoyed last night, that's for sure. It was, whew, it was something. Let me tell you. We started off with so I don't know, just a lot of natural 20s coming from the rolls that we can't see on our DM's part when it comes to hitting us, and because he doesn't roll uh, he doesn't roll the monster's attacks where we can see them, and and then he just announces the numbers like like I said. I think I got one natural 20 the whole night. And that's pretty close to normal, all right? You might get a good night, but man, our DM, it's nat 20s all night long every night. I figure he must have had close to 10 of them on attacks against us. And I know he's looked up our AC before you start, which is crazy because he pretty much never prepares for anything. But we're going along, and then he's like, "Oh, look, I rolled a 19 against your guy. Does that hit?" I'm like, "Yup, a 19 hits." And then he's like, "I check your other guy. I rolled a 17 to hit. Does that hit?" Yup, 17. Those are the exact numbers you need to hit. And then your head came right off, dude. And then the rogue on our team, right? He's got the ability to half damage. So of course I think he got hit by 3 nat 20 attacks last night, and I gotta say I feel like this is gonna be another disappointing adventure book so far. Um, at least from the aspect of who's running it, because we've got no storyline of any kind, and so we've got no idea what's going on, and our DM doesn't read things correctly. Um, and so then things happen, and then he's like, "Oh, like 7 things ago, I did a thing, and that's not how it should happen. So we're gonna go ahead and run that back, and you're gonna take 3 times as much damage, uh, because you should have been, hit by this thing." And so the big thing last night that really irked me was okay. One of the things that irked me, I guess, last night. There's a lot of things that irked me, but we got hit by. Oh yeah, I need to go pick up my armor. Uh, so we go to this door and we ask if it's trapped, and the guy, our thief, checks it for traps, right? And so he rolls an investigation. He gets an 18. That's a pretty good number for checking for traps. And Because remember, a 10 is average. So if an average person set a trap, you would need an average roll to find it if you were looking for it. And so the better the number, So an 18 is pretty good for what we were doing, and somehow that did not count as being able to see the magic glyph that was left on the door. And I'll admit, I did look in the book after he was trying to figure out how this worked, after we had already taken all the damage and stuff. And I'm not sure if they're supposed to be visible or not. It doesn't say. And so, but I feel like there should have been some kind of warning that we should be looking for this stuff. And so, I mean, we'd done like detect magics and detect traps and all this stuff, and somehow we didn't see the giant fire glyph on the door that exploded outward and basically killed all of us. Um, uh, and and so we got hit pretty bad. Oh, I missed that road again. I keep meaning to. Oh, and now I'm out of gas. I keep meaning to hit this side road here down through here. This is the second time I have tried to find it. Where is it at? It must not connect to the road, or I'm just blind. Oh no, it does. It's right here. I'm just blind. So the fire glyph explodes outwards, right? And it does 10d10 damage, I think. So 52 damage it did to us. So we're level 5, and I think my one character's got 42 hit points or something like that, 44 hit points. My other one's got 38 hit points, and it's 52 hit points. That's enough to kill all of us. And so, of course, a bunch of bad stuff happens at that point, and the one guy's a artificer, which means he makes things. He died. They didn't die. They go unconscious, right? They go unconscious, and then the rogue, he went unconscious, and both my guys succeeded on their. What did that say? Oh yeah. And so the rogue goes down, the artificer goes down. The artificer has this mechanical thing, which I'm pretty sure he's cheating with. It's like a mechanical dog, and honestly, it takes him so long to take his turns. It drives me crazy. He did it in the other campaign where he was a player and someone else was the DM, but now he's the DM too, and he just takes so long to take his turn because he's so indecisive about everything. And then he'll start to move his guy and then change his mind and move him back and start to use an ability and then go, oh well, no, I don't want to use that, and just come on, man, just take your turn already. I play a caster. I play a warrior. It gets to my turn. I take my turn. My turn's over in a minute. Meanwhile, we're sitting around for 15 minutes while he's trying to decide what to do with his character. The problem is he's the DM, so there's no one to tell him to hurry up. But yeah, so that left the other guy and our DM's characters unconscious on the ground and left my two characters conscious. And and so they're like, "Are you gonna get us back up?" I'm like, "No, I'm gonna loot your bodies and go home." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna loot your bodies and go home." "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm serious. I don't need to bring you guys back. I'm gonna go find better adventurers." And he's like, "I can't believe you do that to us." I'm like, "I'm not being serious." Of course, I'm gonna cast some heal spells on you, waste some of my heals. Uh, and then I got looking in the book, and the book says one person gets affected by a glyph, not the entire party. Because what it says is um, the person who attempts to do the thing, or maybe it says random person within 60 feet, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure how it's worded, but the wording states that it's one person within 60 feet of the glyph is affected, and so it's a weird looking rock. And so he's like, "I'm not sure I understand the wording here." After he's told us how much damage we're all taking, and so yeah. And then every time we try to do something, we're not allowed to do it, which drives me insane as well. So I'm like, I want to look for secret doors. And then he's like, "Well, my guy looks for secret doors then. That's what you wanted, right?" I'm like, "Fine. Your guy looks for secret doors." And I'm like, "I'm going to have my guy check for traps or secret doors or something." I'll cast the wand of detect magic with my guy and or detect secrets with my guy and have him do that. Fine. We came across a group of petrified adventurers who had succumbed to a basilisk, which is a big lizard creature that can turn you to stone. And not only had it turned them to stone, but it had turned the things they were fighting to stone. And then somehow it died. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, and um, and so I was like, okay, so we had hidden some smaller statured people in our bag of holding before. We used it in the previous adventure book to um, hide like a gnome and a halfling and a dwarf. I think in the bag. It can hold a lot. It can hold a lot. I forget exactly how much it can hold, but it's like 500 pounds of stuff, and we didn't have anything in it. And so, oh, where did I leave my motorcycle? And so, and then use a teleport spell to get us out of there, and with the other two people. And so, I knew we'd done it before, and two of the people who had been turned to stone were halflings, and so I wanted to put them in the bag of holding. And then my plan was to get some stuff and then come back down and rescue the people. And so after we got through a couple other things and we were pretty badly hurt and stuff, we decided to go back to the surface. We went back to the surface like 3 times last night because of how much damage we were taking. And so we go back, and I'm like, okay, so I want to take these two guys to the to the one of the temples, and get them unpetrified, and then try and find something that we can use to unpetrify the rest of them. And he's like, oh yeah, you do that, whatever. Uh, and then you're not gonna have to go back to the other people. So the halflings are grateful, and they'll give you uh, nothing. We got nothing from them, so I don't know where he was going with that. Um, and the Force Grey, who's the group that we worked with in the previous book, would be able to send down some people to take care. I'm like, well, you don't even allow us to get in the book, man. We can't do anything. There's no story. I don't know what we're doing. Uh, so the previous one, we couldn't do anything because it was just all talking, and this one's the exact opposite so far. There's no talking. There's no reason. There's even less reason in this book, and I didn't think there was a reason in the last book to do anything. And I mean, I guess we're exploring the depths of this dungeon thing, but then we got quests from people, and so um, he uh, he told me last night again that so we this elf woman, I think it was a woman, told us that she was looking for this forgotten throne, and man, I cannot get enough gas for this thing. That's supposed to have Elvis script on it, and so we found two thrones so far. Neither one's the right throne, and so he straight up told me last night to stop thinking the thrones were the throne we were looking for because we're nowhere close to where it's supposed to be at. Oh well, thanks. Thanks for ruining my attempt to explore. And then what was the other thing? There was something else we were trying to do something. He told us to stop because it wasn't what we were supposed to be doing. I don't know. It was bad last night. We call it the Lego show because of how little he was letting us do. Like he'd just be like, "Oh, you open this door and you go in this room, and then oh, yep, there's monsters in there, so you get attacked." And like, what? What? We can't look into the room. Oh man, I could only make level 1 gear. That's sad. Where's my helmet? Did I not make a helmet? I thought I pulled the helmet down. What does it look like? There's my boots. No, maybe I didn't make a helmet. What does it look like? What am I looking for here? Steel helmet. Alright. I definitely do not see a steel helmet. Weird. Alright, well. Let's go ahead and put your mods back on you then, because obviously that's not gonna happen. Also, my steel armor is so low. Well, I guess my chest piece here, my iron chest piece is also low. Oh yes, the bandolier mod. Can't go without the bandolier mod. Yes, yes. I definitely don't want to put it on my chest. Thank you. Would you put that on? I don't know what you're doing, but you're driving me crazy. Okay. All right. But yeah, so I don't quite understand what we're supposed to be doing. And I feel like I'm good at this kind of stuff, and so it's really weird to just be so lost all the time. And I just wish that there was like at least a little bit of storyline going on so that I would know where things are supposed to be going. All right, I've got. Oh, those are the gloves. That doesn't look like a glove. Uh, okay. Legs, boots, legs, arms, chest. I think that's everything. We'll scrap all of these. Fit that in there too if we can. But yeah, I mean, at least we're playing, I guess. Um, I just wish that there was. I don't know. The thing is I have all these adventure books, right? I don't know how good they are, but I have all these adventure books. I get humble bundle. Sometimes will release these adventure book packs, and so you can get like 50 adventures for like $10. And so I'll do that. I'll grab that, and then we got all these adventures, but um, we don't ever get to run them because he doesn't want to run anything that requires effort on his end. Um, and so, I mean, I could probably run something, I guess. Although to be fair, I did try to run something with him, and he basically refused to participate. And then he says, "Oh, you try to run something then." I did, and then I had to kick you out because you wouldn't participate. Uh, so I mean, it wasn't just him. I knocked a couple of people out. Not that the people that are still in it now are as active as I was expecting. Um, I really thought with the group now that we'd be pretty active at this point. But oh, you know what? I need. Oh no, it's repair kits, right? I was thinking I needed metal and stuff, but it's not. It's just repair kits. All right, let's go. Let's go find where we gotta get to here. Back in that big town, and me with no gas. And the best way, well, I guess the best way to get there is to head out this way. But yeah, so it's a weird one, and I'm not. It's not quite what I was expecting, I guess. I thought it was going to be like this dungeon crawl, and you're like, have you ever seen the game Metro Exodus? I thought it was going to be like, or not Metro Exodus. I haven't played that one. Metro 2033 or Metro Last Light, whichever one is the one I've played. Um, I thought it was gonna be something like that. Like, you drop down and they're into the. You start at the Yawning Portal, which is a bar, and then you go into the dungeon, and then you're gonna fight your way through whatever's there to get to the next, stronghold inside the dungeon. And I really thought that was what this adventure book was gonna be like, and I thought it was gonna be interesting and like, maybe people in there would be like, we need supplies, or we need someone to guard us as we push through to this thing, or quest stuff. And so far, we ran into people pretending to be vampires. Um, and um, a troll that our DM told us not to try to fight because it was too tough for us, and then we killed it before it even got to take a turn. And then he basically killed us with a fire blast, and then obviously when a monster comes at you, it's going to stay as far away from you as it can and use its special distance abilities only to attack you, um, because that's how it works. And everything's always in the air or turning invisible or sliding into the floor. Nothing ever just fights us. Uh, Spellcasters never cast attack spells because that will use up their slots for defense. Because you only get so many spells per per day, and so if they use up all their slots trying to attack us, then they can't use their spells to turn invisible and run away. And so three manticores, right, are in this room. And how close do manticores get to you when they fight with their claws and their teeth? Oh, that's right, 50 feet away, so that they can fling poison stinger shard things at you, and try to take you down so that you can't attack them as melee people, which is super annoying. I've said it before, but our DM runs on the assumption that it's him versus us, instead of him running a thing so that we can have fun, and it gets annoying. Um, and like I said, the adventure books that we're using don't help either because they're not cohesive. Uh, it's oh man, it's just. But yeah, so we got to go up a level this week, so that was nice. It was a pretty good. It's level 6, so it's not an amazing level. Um, uh, it's there are amazing levels, and then there's okay levels. So it's nice to get more hit points for sure. But this wasn't a new level of spells level. Um, it was a little better for my bard than my fighter. My bard got to add extra attack, which means that when he attacks, he gets to attack twice, which is awesome. And but my fighter got that the previous level. In fact, oh, and then my fighter, I just upped his stats a little bit because I didn't roll well, and so my characters could definitely use some stat updates. And every 2 levels, basically, a fighter gets to upgrade stats or add an ability, and it's one of the reasons I like them, because they're so versatile, and so it's always interesting to play, for me, with a fighter, because of the changeability. Um, so like you want to play a fighter that attacks with a big two-handed weapon, right? Then there are abilities you can add to increase your damage and stuff you do with your two-handed weapon. Or if you want to fight with two weapons, there's abilities you take that make you better fighter with two weapons. Or and so a fighter's not just a fighter. It's not just. I mean, he is the guy that just runs in with a sword, but you get to choose how he uses that sword and some of the other little abilities that go with it. You don't even have to use a sword. I mean, you could have a bare hand fighter, you could have a grappler fighter, spell fighter, all kinds, all kinds. Uh, I'm running with what's considered the best fighter class, and I still don't like it. And I really should have just went with my first choice, um, and which was the Purple Knight. I wanted to try the Purple Knight because the Purple Knight shares his abilities with his companions, and but then I decided that maybe I'd try Battle Master again. I have a fighter in another campaign that's a champion, which is the most basic fighter you can have, and I absolutely love playing that guy. He is hands down one of my favorite characters I've ever made and played, and I started him as a battle master because it seems so cool, and then I hate it. It's not terrible. I don't hate it, but it's really not for me. I kind of like it's not dissimilar from my bard, which is a sword bard. They're kind of similar in how they work, but I like the bard way better. Because the the way it works is the battle master gets dice called superiority dice, and so when he attacks, or like if he gets attacked, depending on what you choose, because you get to take, they're called maneuvers, and you get so many maneuvers, and there's a lot of different kinds, and so then you use the maneuvers to augment your attacks. So maybe you do a trip attack, where you make the guy fall down, um, which gives you advantage on attacks against them, and or is that weird? Or like you get repost. So if something attacks you and misses, you can attack them back, or you can give up one of your attacks to have a companion attack instead, like one of the other players attack if they want to. Uh, which I've used that a few times, but you only get 4 of those, and so once those 4 are done, then you have to rest to get them back. Now I don't have a big problem with that. Uh, it's like a fighter gets so many attacks, and so 4 times and you're done. Like I guess if I get to a boss, because it got this other ability called Action Surge. So like if I got to like a boss fight, then I could dump all those onto the boss all at once, and that might be okay. But yeah, I'm still not feeling it. I'm still not feeling the Battle Master, man. I think the Purple Knight would have been. I should have just went with the Purple Knight. Because like I said, the Purple Knight, they get to share their abilities. So like, if I use Second Wind to heal myself, well then other people in the area who are on my team also get the Second Wind. And I feel like that's also the big one is later, but if you action surge, they get to action surge, which is they get to take another turn basically, and so that's super powerful, and so kind of I don't know, still not liking the Battle Master, but uh, dang it, there was something I wanted to say before I went off on this tangent about the Battle Master. Um, and then my other group, the ones that I'm the DM for, they finally I guess not finally, but they have been sealed in a tunnel and are working their way through a tunnel underground. Uh, it's a maintenance tunnel because of the nature of the. Well, this is unlocked. The nature of the campaign is that we are in the real world, just post-apocalypse, and technology has granted magic, and um, which is really funny because I just started watching an anime with the same storyline, uh, and we've been playing this for like a year now. But technology has granted magic, and so the birth pangs of said magic nearly destroyed the world, and so there are people who are come up from bunkers underground who have developed technology specifically to defeat the technology that gives magic because it nearly destroyed the world, and so they're of the opinion that no good can come from it, and so they're dealing with that a little bit, and so I thought I'd do this cool thing. I think it's cool, anyways. Where I gave them a fight, and they're in the fight now against some giant spiders, right? Because this is post-apocalyptic, right? Things are mutated, and uh, and so they they get in there, and so as they're entering, I had them roll Arcana check, which would be magic, but we're not doing the magic. Oh man! See me punch that guy without even bringing out my fists? Punch him with my mind. Uh, and so the spiders they're fighting are just giant spiders right now. But then there's also a couple of phase spiders. Now, they're at level 3, so a phase spider would be a mid to easy fight. One phase spider. I've got two phase spiders and two giant wolf spiders. The giant wolf spiders are already dead. They basically one-shot both of them because they're so weak. But the phase spiders are a bit bigger, and but I didn't want to. I basically decided that they wouldn't be able to use their abilities as they get through these tunnels. Oh, that's a terrible jump. Because overhead, they're using a EMP field generator in the battle that's taking place above ground, and that has disrupted all nanite abilities, which is where magic comes from in my world. And I knew you were out there. Not worried about these zombies, but the stupid vultures had to go. And so I had them roll an Arcana check to see if they could detect that they had entered the field, and everybody rolled terrible. 2, 4, 6. It's like, well, all right. Nobody felt that their powers just suddenly stopped working, and so and then the one guy is like, I took a picture off the internet, and I they have dark vision. So dark vision is black and white if there's no light. And so I took this tunnel full of spider webbing, and I darkened it down, and I made it black and white. And so, because we're playing online, play by post in Discord, and so I posted the pictures, and they're like, "What is that? Is that vines? Do we see vines?" And then the one's like, "I'm gonna pull out my magic knives that the character just got, and see if I can cut the vines." And so I said, "Oh, well, you try to summon your newly acquired magic ability daggers, and nothing happens." And and they're like, "Oh no, I can't use my abilities." And so then one of the other characters, they do a thing with claws. They use a spell to make claws appear, and so they tried to make the claws appear, and they're like, "I can't summon my claws either." And so it's only going to last until they get clear of the field of effect. They're not the target, so it's not directly aimed at them. It's not going to follow them, but it is a massive area that has been affected. I figure it's about a mile, because the city they're in covers 27 square miles in the real world, and so I couldn't imagine that the group would manage to have that many tanks. Ooh, a treasure map. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. And so I figured 16. 16 should be enough to basically cover the heart of the city. And so they've got 16 tanks, maybe. I don't know. I haven't rolled to see if any of them got destroyed yet. I did roll, and they were being attacked pretty pretty hard, but they hadn't managed to get through the shield protecting everything yet. And so they're facing off against these bigger spiders. Then two of them would be, a hard fight for the the group and the level they're at, especially since they can't use any of their special abilities. Well, I mean, the one guy can, because like they can use their physical abilities. They just can't use their magical abilities. And but the spiders that they're fighting are also heavily affected because they're phase spiders, which means they use magic basically to teleport in and out. And so I've been describing them as bits and pieces of them are fading in and out uncontrollably because the EMP field is affecting them as well, which includes like their eyes and stuff. And so parts of them are still here, but parts of them are gone. And so they have disadvantage on attacks because not all of their eyes and stuff are there. And they also, when they go to move, they have to roll to see if they can control the direction they're moving, as well as if they not only if they're controlling the direction they're moving, but if they fail, then what direction did they move into? But yeah, so I think that's a pretty cool, pretty fun idea I had. So it seems like it's going to be a super tough, scary fight. It's probably still going to be a little tough, but not so bad. They're not going to be much worse than the spiders they already one-shotted. They just have a little bit more. Oh. Oh, well, this is bad. A little bit more in the hit points. Are they all dead? They're all dead. Look at that. I win! Yay! Alright, well, with that, click like if you like, subscription, catch the next one. And I will talk to you. Well, I guess let's wait a second here. That'd be kind of mean to not reveal the treasure. I get at the end here. That's not a great treasure. We'll save this big box for the very last. Some parts. Anything else hiding back here? Large pile of... Ooh, another bandolier mod. Let's see if we can get this hardened weapon case open. But yeah, it's... I was like, man, I don't even know what to do with my guy now because he is so magic dependent, right? Like I set him up specifically to use his magic claws. He throws fire. He's got a creature that he forms out of fire. And none of that is happening at the moment. So I threw a dagger. That's my one attack so far. I threw a dagger. All right, there we go. So that I will talk to you later.